Hi guys, it's your girl Lola Loves You. In today's topic, we're going to talk about Whitney Houston's vocal change throughout her career. Well, we know when once Whitney Houston came into the scenes like 1985, her voice was very sweet, it was pure, and it was very smooth, and it was powerful as well. You know, I say her vocal change started around you know what? I wouldn't even say it started in 1990. I remember in the early 90s, she did get vocal surgery, and I think she had nodules on her vocal cords. And I remember her getting vocal surgery in the early 90s, but I still didn't hear a change. Even in her 1990 tours and 91 shows, I didn't hear a change. Even in 2 to 93, and still she even got more powerful in my opinion. I remember in Robin's book she said Whitney Houston became conscious of her voice once she got vocal surgery. That's scary. That was her instrument, so that was very scary for her, to get surgery. And that's for any singer. You're gonna be scared, like, oh my gosh, how am I gonna sound after the surgery? It might take my voice, but her voice still was powerful. I would say I remember like in '95, I started hearing raspiness. Um, and I remember I don't know what event it was. I remember I have a newspaper clip. It was not a newspaper clipping. It's a magazine clipping, and they was the people was saying in the interview how they enjoyed Whitney Houston's performance, but she was a little hoarse. And I didn't know, they knew back then that Whitney Houston chain smoked. And then her mother in the interview said, "Oh, we're working on her smoking." So I didn't know she was smoking. I didn't know she smoked like that. I thought she probably smoked a cigarette here and there, but I didn't know she chain smoked. So her voice was changing, believe like in the mid 90s. So in 95, I don't remember a lot of Whitney Houston live performances. Can you tell me? I don't know a lot of them. I know the Grammys was 96, wasn't it, when she performed with CC? So I don't recall her performing a lot during 95. So 96, was The Preacher's Wife was, becoming mainstream. So she was working on, the album, the soundtrack and things like that. So that came out. That came out in 96. And 97, um, she had the Classic Whitney. Now, Classic Whitney is where I could see something is not right. Now, I probably I was so happy just to see Whitney Houston and see her perform, but vocally, even in her mother's book, Remembering Whitney, she said her voice was really, it was kind of like sad to see her perform, because during all Whitney Houston performance during Classic Whitney, it was like very raspy, um, trying to get the note. She still could sing. You could see, I mean, yeah, she still could sing, but you could hear, I mean, but it just was like, she couldn't, it wasn't the same magic that she performed years ago, like South Africa and Welcome Home Hero. So in my opinion, I think she shouldn't have done Classic Whitney. I think her vocals needed resting at that moment. I think she was doing a lot and she was stressed out a lot in her life. I also believe she should have stopped smoking too back then, because it really was telling on her vocals. So her vocals was really, um, they were there. It's just they were strained and she needed rest. And like I said, there's a lot of stress in your life and you smoking cigarettes. That's not good. So that's the first time I remember hearing a change in her voice, that a drastic change. Like, ooh, this is, what I'm saying? Like, she really has a cold. Like back then, I didn't know what she was doing, so I thought she was just having colds. After that performance, she was fine. I'm not gonna lie on Whitney. That's when My Love Is Your Love came out, '98, and she was back. Whitney was one of those. She was a vocal genius. She knew how to get around any problem she was having vocal wise. Like, she knew what songs, how to sing them, like what notes to hit, what notes not to hit, if it was on a good night or a bad night. So she was a genius about that. So probably like, okay, so now with the My Love Is Your Love tour, she was like phenomenal. She mastered that her voice is not so light and airy like how it was in the early 80s. So it was a little more heavier tone, but it was phenomenal. She still was singing effortlessly, hitting high notes. She had a lot of range. So My Love Is Your Love tour was, in my opinion, the last best of the best tour. Like, she really was singing her face off. So yeah, so that tour was really a phenomenon because she really was performing new outfit, wardrobe, and a new look. And her voice, she really was singing those songs. Really, like if you look at the Whitney Houston documentary up close, she was tearing them songs up. Now, after the My Love Is Your Love, and Whitney Houston started kind of leaving the spotlight, she started becoming, in my opinion, more sloppy with her health, and just. I remember her back in the My Love Is Your Love tour behind the scenes on what was it? Whitney Houston Cannot Be Me. She had like a breathing machine, and so she kept breathing. And I remember hearing her using a breathing machine years and years ago, like in the early '90s. And she had a little breathing machine that was helping her. So she was doing the things that she needed to do, and she still was smoking, but she still was, taking care of herself. Now, in the, like I said, 2000 on up, she was not taking care of herself. Probably ain't doing no breathing treatment. Her addiction is getting stronger. Cigarette smoke is even more when you stressed out and doing things you're not supposed to be doing. Yeah, and so her voice, she not worried about things. She probably was sleeping under air conditioning and things like that. So her voice was changing tremendously, and she not having that many shows, and she not going on tours anymore. So she got all those years. So she would perform, but like during early 2000, 2001 and stuff, in 2002. She was like in 2004 and stuff like that. She was out overseas, so I didn't get to see her here. I mean, see a performance here. She'll be performing more overseas, and like back then, you didn't have YouTube, so you couldn't see those performances unless they released them on TV in the U.S. So I do remember. Okay, the Michael Jackson concert, she still could sing, but cause how she looked. I remember doing the BET show. She could still sing, but it was kind of weird. But I guess her behavior was weird a little bit too. So, and then after that, I just remember her, all the antics, and I remember her kind of making a semi comeback in 2004 at the World Music Awards, and her voice was, it was there, it was beautiful, but it's still, you could tell it been through some more changes, but it still was there. She still had the magic. And after that, oh my gosh, you was to see some shows here and there. After that, after her divorce was final and stuff like that, and she would still go out of the country. She still had her voice. She still could work, so it was fine. And then it just Russia was the last good performance of hers in 2009. It was a last good performance. She still had a nice voice, very raspy. And now this time in Whitney's life, even like I was about to say late 90s or her speaking voice changed. It was very raspy. It was always raspy. She sounded like she had a cold that she could not shake. She always just had like this hard, raspy voice versus the Whitney Houston from, Entertainment Tonight interviews in 84, 85, and 86. She's well spoken, and like now she's like an old woman. Like her voice was just so raspy. So I think, like I said, the Russia concert was the last good performance of hers, and then after that, I would say when she performed with Kim Burrell at the BT Gospel celebration, she still sounded good. But it changed. Her voice was changed. It was nothing like it used to be. Still was a great voice though, but it just started changing. And then the sad tour, the Nothing But Love tour, her voice was just stripped. And I believe her voice was stripped because of smoking, never quitting to stop smoking, not letting her voice relax, not probably she probably was rushing, probably not, letting her voice come back natural, you know. So I feel as though if she would have stopped smoking, stopped her addiction, her voice would have really came back and really took time and effort in cherishing her voice, because Whitney Houston did not take time and effort on herself. Like, she didn't put care in herself, and she needs a proper care and extensive care. I just remember seeing those concerts. I was like, oh my gosh! It just like her voice just was like a what I want to say. Every time when I would hear her sing, I know it sounded like it hurt. It sounded like it was very painful. Her last performance was at the Kelly Price event, and her voice was it sounded like pain. And to know that this lady had such a beautiful voice and how it sounded at that time, it was so sad. And I know if it did that to the fans, can you imagine how it worked on her self-esteem, and knowing that her craft was stripped from her. Do I believe she could have ever regained her voice? Of course. I do believe she could gain at least probably like 80 to 90% back if she did the proper things and stopped smoking. And I think she could have got her voice back. But it doesn't matter that she lost her voice at the end of her time. It matters that we got it recorded, the best of the best, on CD, on MP3, on records, on every type of musical platform, on cassette tapes. We have her voice recorded so we could go back and look at the performances and listen to the music and things like that. And that is the beauty of Whitney Houston's legacy, because she has such a beauty. Yes, she had a messed up legacy at times, but it's still, her music outshine all the drama, all the downfalls. Her music, you can just put on I Will Always Love You, The Greatest Love of All, I Want to Dance with Somebody. So many epic, iconic hits that will always be a part of this generation, and on and on and on. So those were the times I remember how Whitney Houston's vocal changed throughout her career. Leave in the comments down below, when do you remember her voice changing? Like, what performance or what song or whatever you remember listening or seeing that you remember, oh, her voice is changing. But anyway, it's your girl Lola loves you. I'll be back with another video. Bye, honey bunny.